Got some wind and some traffic noise, but hopefully you can hear me. 2016 Kenworth T680. It's got 420,000 miles. Just put on the, well, not just, about 8 months ago, put these Bridgestone 22.5 low profile tires the whole way around. It's all virgin rubber. They're probably 90%, 85 maybe. Been real happy with Bridgestone tires. Also put on the Centromatic wheel balancers, all 3 axles. Did a 3-axle alignment when the tires were put on. Put Monroe shocks, front and back. It actually didn't need shocks. I like a better ride. They're not that old, maybe 8 months to a year. I'm not sure when they were put on. Haven't done a whole lot, really. This motor runs real strong. Never seen a single drip of oil underneath it. It holds all its fluids real good. Every once in a while, need to add a little bit more coolant, but it's pretty rare. Let's see. Did put a new windshield in February when it got inspected. It had a rock chip in the windshield, so that is a new windshield. Wipers are new too. Cleans up pretty good. Of course, there wasn't all this traffic. This knock sensor, that's probably 6 months old. If you ever put one of them on, they're pretty fun to put on. Frame's in real good shape. Everything's nice and clean. Front pads, real good. So are the drums. Close this up. Belts stay tight. I mean, it never really did much to it, the engine at all. I mean, it's a good, strong running motor. Never had any problem. Hood's a little bit squeaky. The only issues I did have were with the DEF system, which, if you've ever had a modern truck, you know all about that, I'm sure. But with this truck, did replace the DPF tube, the DEF doser. They ended up, Kenworth did a wire overlay through the engine harness, which seemed to finally clear up the issues, which, you know, it never left me sit. I mean, I never had a full out D-rate or anything, but it did throw a couple codes on the dash, which that wire overlay did seem to work that out. That came straight from Cummins. These drive axle tires, about the same thing. I'd say 85%, 90%. These seem to really be holding up good. And actually, I was kind of skeptical about these Centromatic wheel balancers, but you know, all these tires are wearing real even and doing real good. So let's see, these all new airbags. They're all TRP. They've all been replaced. There's Monroe shocks on the back. I had one brake chamber go out, so I ended up just putting all new brake chambers on. They're all new. The air dryer was rebuilt. Other than that, I've really not had any issues at all. It's a good greased up fifth wheel. It's real easy to lock your trailer and unlock. Put aluminum handle glad hands on. Nobody likes deaf, but it's what we got to do. Try to keep it real clean. We actually, my brother and I bought these a little over 2 years ago, which we bought 2 sister trucks. We drove to Fargo, North Dakota, but the trucks were from like New Mexico area, Nevada, New Mexico, which I don't know how they ended up in North Dakota, but the story we had was they were through a company that I guess leased trucks to other companies, and these were real low mileage when we bought them. This one had 285,000 miles on it, but you know, you could just tell they weren't driven too much. Interior's in real good shape. Seats are still in good shape. Let's crank it up here. It's hot out here. It's a good, strong running truck. Cummins. Nothing on the dash. I just ran up to the truck wash, bobtail, getting 7 miles a gallon. It actually was about 10 while I was driving, but I've been messing around, cleaning stuff up, doing this video with the AC running. So, on average, 30,000 pounds and under in the trailer. I get 7.5 miles a gallon. This thing actually is pretty good as far as that goes. You know, you get up into heavier weights, 40,000 plus, and then, you know, 5.9, 6, maybe a little under 5.5. All depends on where you're driving. But these, you know, these do pretty good. No warnings or faults. 420,242 miles. It's always held really good oil pressure. You know, I always keep it idled up around 900 RPM if I'm sitting still. Temperature stays real good. Never had it get high at all. There was a period of time out recently in Wyoming where it was like 108 outside. So this thing was getting up there around 200, but fan kicks on just over 200 and it stays relatively cool. Regular driving, you know, its temperature's always maintained real good. It holds pretty good air. Give it a couple of days not driving it and, you know, the air will go down. It'll have to build back up. It doesn't go to 0, but, you know, it's a little under the red there, down around 50 or so. But, you know, overnights or a day or two, and it holds air good. The only thing here recently, this front drive axle temperature gauge, which is actually a code that was thrown by that ELD, where it says front drive axle temperature, but I had it in the Kenworth and they took it apart, checked the sensor, and everything's working as expected. The gauge works good. I've never seen that gauge over like 180, and that's like climbing a mountain with 40,000 pounds on. So I mean, they stay nice and cool. Gear oil's good. It was changed. Well, we do have the gear package, or the gauge package here. This Alpine head unit will go with it. It is connected to an amp, which I put 2 kicker door speakers in. There's 2 kicker bunk speakers, and then there are 2 6x9 kicker rear speakers hooked to the amp. I also had 2 10-inch woofers that were kicker in here, which I cleaned a lot of my stuff out of here, so I took them out. But you know, they could go with it if you want to keep the system together. No big deal. I use this top bunk as a shelf, so there's no mattress up there. This is a memory foam mattress. It's only about a year old, but you know, it's up to you. You want to get a new mattress, I'll get rid of this one. It's no big deal. Let's see, I put a 32-inch TV in, put the microwave in. Actually a really good microwave. I've been really happy with that thing. It'll go with it too. That thing gets stuff hotter a lot faster than you'd expect it to. The fridge works really good. I've actually had stuff freeze in that fridge if you stack it up a little bit too high to the top blower. But it keeps stuff good and cold. Never had an issue. There is an APU. It is a battery APU, which I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan. The heater, the S-bar bunk heater works really good. You got to keep it turned down or it'll heat you right out of here. Like it gets really, keeps it really warm in here without the truck running. The AC though doesn't do real good with the APU. Now the truck AC, when you have the truck running, it blows real cold front and back. So what I did is just, you know, run the truck a little bit longer after the sun went down and then run the AC. And then once you shut it off, turn on the APU, and it did all right. I mean, it kept it, you know, it maintained a comfortable temperature. I like it really cold, so I guess it all depends on what you like. Let's see, what else have I done here? It had a little bit of a clutch slip, so I had Kenworth put in a new clutch. A little while before that, the clutch brake was replaced, so that's a whole new assembly. You know, I mean, it's not a whole lot else I did. There was, well, forgot to mention the rear drums and brakes are all new. That was done with the inspection. I mean, overall, it's been a really good truck. Runs really strong. It never really left me sit. The only, that brake chamber, I had to, you know, that was a road call. But other than that, this thing's always, you know, got me where I'm going. And I've been real happy with it. But my circumstances have changed. Some medical needs in my family, so I'm making some changes, which need to be a little closer to home. So everything this truck needed, I've always tried to put the better quality parts on, and just do everything to it that I would want for the truck I was driving, which I intended to drive this thing for another 4 or 5 years at least before I traded it in. So it's it's good to go, but it is going to be a first come first serve, and as is where is, I mean, get your financing. I do not finance, so first one to come get it. she's all yours.